In a previous video, I showed you how I extracted a bunch of rechargeable batteries from what was basically garbage. Today, we are putting these batteries to good use with the help of a new power bank module I designed. In case you missed that video, these are disposable electronic cigarettes. They work with rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, even though they are expected to be discarded after use. These batteries are relatively small, usually well below 1000 mAh in capacity, so you wouldn't use them to charge something like a phone. But they could be great for powering small devices or do-it-yourself projects using low-power chips. So here's the plan. I want to design a device that can charge these small batteries. I want it to be safe and easy to configure, and I also wanted to boost the battery voltage to 5 volts. Sounds a lot like I'm making a power bank module, doesn't it? Which begs the question, should I just use a cheap pre-made module from AliExpress? Well, I happen to have one right here. There are probably hundreds of different models, but this is one of the smallest and simplest available. If I connect a battery to it, the module works as expected. It charges the battery as indicated by the blinking LED, and on the USB port I'm seeing 5 volts. The problem with this and many other power bank modules is that they are not ideal for very small batteries. The charging current is too high, and so is the output of up to 800 mA. Remember that if I'm pulling 800 mA at 5 volts, the current drawn from the battery is going to be even higher, well over 1 amp in this case. So that's why I chose to make my own battery management module. I need something optimized for small batteries, with adequate safety features and easily adjustable current limit. And besides, designing it was lots of fun. After some research, I came across this chip, the TP4552B. It is actually made by T-Power, the same company making the popular TP4056 battery charging integrated circuit. But this one has a few extra features. It can boost the battery voltage to 5 volts, it can charge the battery and output power at the same time, and it has additional safety features like overcurrent and over-discharge protection. The maximum battery charging current is lower at 400 mA, but that is enough for charging small batteries. There is also an output maximum of 500 mA, which seems kind of low, but that's okay. So overall, this chip seems ideal for what I want to make. Now I only need to design a circuit board for it. So I opened up EasyEDA and put together a circuit, following the recommendations in the datasheet. If you want to take a look, I will publish it on my Patreon page along with the rest of the project files. Then I laid out the circuit board and sent it over for manufacturing to my sponsor JLCPCB. It is amazing how easy it is to have your own circuit board made and a whole module manufactured with industrial-grade precision. JLCPCB makes it possible with its professional services and some of the best prices on the market. You can get 5 PCBs for as little as $2, a game changer for hobbyists and small engineering teams. You can prototype with confidence even on a tight budget. Even high-precision 6-layer PCBs now start at $2 for small projects. Upgrading to 6 layers gives you more routing freedom and reliability in complex, high-speed designs. So sign up now. It's easy, and new users get a total of $123 in coupons for all JLC services, including a $30 coupon for 6-layer PCBs. Take advantage of the free via-in-pad support, nickel gold finish, and 10% impedance control. Follow my link below to claim your $30 coupon and get high-quality circuit boards from JLCPCB. Now let me show you the key design features of my module. I have a USB Type-C port for charging, with the necessary resistors to make it work with Type-C to Type-C cables. 2 LEDs indicate when the battery is charging and when there is a device connected. These pin headers let me switch between full-speed charging at 400 mA or a custom value set by an external resistor, which I can solder right here. I put mounting holes in every corner. This should make it easier to fit the module inside of an enclosure. Same for the extra long USB ports I'm using. The battery is supposed to go over here. I'm planning on 3D printing a custom holder for it. The battery will connect to one of the pads I've included. I put several of them on purpose to allow batteries of different lengths to connect more easily. And for the 5V output, I have both a USB connector and a screw terminal. Time to test if the module actually works. I've already soldered wires to the battery pads on the PCB, and I'm now setting the charging current to maximum using a jumper. I'm gonna do the test on a breadboard using this 18650 battery. When I plug in the USB cable, the red LED lights up, and when I connect the battery to the module through the multimeter, I see almost 400 mA flowing. Nice! I should be able to reduce this by soldering a bigger resistor to this empty slot. A resistance of 4.7 kΩ drops the charging current to around 180 mA, which is suitable for charging very small batteries like this one. I let the big battery charge at full speed for a while, just to make sure nothing heats up more than it should. The chip does get a bit warm, it is a linear charger after all, but the temperature is well within acceptable limits. Now let's test the output. I am measuring 5.2 volts as expected, and when I place a small light bulb as a load, it starts glowing. That's good. The voltage is slightly lower now, but that is normal when there is a load connected. The important thing is for the voltage not to drop too low, which may happen if I increase the output current. According to the datasheet, I should be able to get 4.8 volts at half an amp. So let's try that. With this USB LED light pulling 250 mA, I am still getting 4.9 volts, which is within specs. But if I try to charge this power bank, I get a more substantial voltage drop, and I'm very close to hitting the current maximum of half an amp. Replacing the battery with my power supply doesn't change much. The voltage still drops to around 4.5 volts, which is still usable, but perhaps a 500 mA rating for this module is too optimistic. Besides, drawing half an amp at 5 volts would mean even greater current drawn from the battery, which may not be super healthy for it. I wonder if using a bigger inductor could have helped to keep the voltage in check. Next, I tried charging this power bank from the USB port, but it didn't work. Even though I have 5 volts on the port, the bank refuses to accept any charge. Turns out I've made a mistake in the circuit. If you've watched my previous videos, you probably know that the USB Type-C port meant to receive power needs a couple of pull-down resistors to work with Type-C cables. Well, if the port is meant to be an output, then it needs pull-up resistors instead. Putting a couple of 56 kΩ resistors on the CC pins tells the connected device the port can provide up to 500 mA. The problem is, I connected these resistors to ground, but they're supposed to be connected to the voltage line instead. Oops. Fortunately, that is an easy fix. I just removed the resistors from the PCB and connected 2 other resistors correctly. They don't have to be this big, I just didn't have any smaller 56K resistors on hand. Sure enough, the power bank is now charging at the expected current of 500 mA. For some reason, my phone is giving me an error message saying I should check my cable, probably because of the slow charging speeds. Now let's check how efficient the module is. The light I have connected right now is consuming about 1.46 watts, according to the power meter, and the consumption from my power supply is around 510 mA at 3.6 volts. So we have 1.84 watts going into the module, which puts the efficiency at around 80%. Not great, not terrible. By the way, I'm noticing that the chip does not turn off the output like some power banks do. This is actually great if you want to power devices that draw very little current. Other power banks would just shut down after a few minutes. When the module is standing by and the LED is off, it consumes around 50 microamps. This means it can drain a small battery like this one in about 5 months, so you want to charge it every once in a while. I'm now curious to know what happens if you try charging the battery while a load is connected. This is a feature supported by the chip as it has power path management. The first thing I'm noticing is a slightly greater voltage drop, but it's not critical, and the battery is charging at full speed. To push things further, I connected the power bank again. It is drawing around 400 mA, and the battery is also charging at 400. But if I reduce the battery charging current, the power bank can charge faster. So yes, you can power a device while charging the battery, but the chip seems to prioritize sending power to the battery, not to the load. Something I noticed was that when the input power is disconnected, the output stops for a moment. This is not okay if you want to use the module like a UPS to provide uninterrupted backup power. I tried adding an extra capacitor across the output, and strangely, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. A bigger capacitor actually made things worse by triggering the chip's overcurrent protection. So perhaps this module would not make a great UPS by itself. But overall, I would say it works fine enough to be useful. The last thing I want to do is to add a battery holder, so I designed one in Fusion and made it with my 3D printer. It attaches to the PCB with M3 screws and the battery slides in place from the side. Finally, I soldered the battery wires to the PCB and this project is now complete. I want to point out one flaw in my design. While this chip gets the job done, it appears to have been discontinued. You can replicate the project if you want to, but eventually the chip will be sold out and I don't have a replacement to recommend to you. Not yet. Other than that, the project was fun to make. I successfully made a working power bank using a battery that was destined for the garbage. The module may not be great for charging a phone, but it could be ideal for a low power project. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.